Hi everyone, so I've just finished listening to the Wimbledon, which I like to do when it's on with Cam Williams, and it's nice to get to know the new players that are coming up. One of my favorites is gone, Andy Murray, but I watched his documentary when he played, and he's such an amazing player, an amazing man. They all start playing when they're so small. And they showed the surgery, the hip surgery that he had. They actually filmed it, and it's on the documentary. I had watched it on my birthday, and that was my gift to myself. I do things for myself on my birthday. I don't expect other people to be there for me. They all have their own lives, and I can't afford to have a party. So that's what I do. If I'm working, I take something to work. I'll take a cake, or I'll take Timbits or coffee or something or the other. But it was nice, and it's a good way for me to learn about him, to learn about his childhood, his family. And it's sad to see him go, but I feel very blessed. I got to see him play live in Toronto. He came when all the other players refused to come. All the big names, they were all declining after COVID. And I got to see him play, so that's pretty amazing for me. I did another section of this book here, John Maxwell, 21 Most Powerful Minutes in a Leader's Day. And so he basically just confirms that voluntary organizations, positions that people are volunteering for, are the ones that have the best leadership. Because there's no rules and regulations, there's no codes of conduct. If you do something in the church, you're just expected to have a high standard of ethics, you're expected to be able to fit in, to help others, and there's no force, there's no performance appraisals at the end of the year, there's no coaching involved, there's nothing, it's all influence. So voluntary organizations are the best organizations because that's where you're free. You're free to perform your best, you're free to help where you feel you have the gifts and the talents, and the priests and the pastors will ask you to help where they see that you have the capacity to help as well. And often you'll find that with influence you have to be able to replicate it. So the church is very good in that way. You'll find that the Mass is replicated all over the world. If you can't replicate something, it's not going to work, because it's no point doing it just for a small select group of people when it's something that could be scalable. It has to be scalable in order to work, and it has to be something that can work across different cultures where the values are the same. So it was good to just read on that, and those points are my points about the church and the leadership and the influence. That's not John Maxwell. It's just something I reflected on. And even like when we swap, if we can't read that day or we get sick, we can call people or we can email the person who set up the schedule to say, I can't step in. If she's not available, there's always somebody in the church who will step in to help out. You're not going to be told, don't come back, you didn't do a good job, and who do you think you are? So it's a free way to use your time and to help and to give of your skills. When we look at leadership, we also know that we have our limitations, so we don't have skills in every area, but there's people who can complement that, who can make up for our weaknesses. So where we are strong, other people are weak, and where we are weak, other people are strong. That's why we live in communities, because we need each other, and we need to help each other. I have good neighbors. Sometimes they'll go out and they'll buy a meal and they'll say, oh, I left you a meal at your door for you today. And I'm like, thank you. And then I'll see them and I'll say, I'm going out, do you need anything? So we help each other in community. We don't always have time because we all have busy lives and busy schedules, but we're not isolated. So we're very fortunate in this building that I live in, that people are nice, people are friendly, people are willing to help. Not all buildings are like that. And then also, he says faithful leaders use their influence to add value. So if we are people who are going to lie, cheat, steal, be corrupt, we're not adding value to our country. We're ruining our country, because that is just going to, the rot is just going to expand, and it's going to get deeper and deeper and deeper, and in the end, nobody will have anything. So we look at how we can deepen our influence and deepen what is good that we are doing. And we take our responsibilities seriously. We try to do it every day. We try to make an effort every day. And including with COVID, or when we're sick, we don't go to church when we're sick, because we don't, if we're really sick, we don't want to pass that germs on to other people. Just like with COVID, people had to self-regulate. So influence and leadership is just looking at those things about how we're living our lives, what we're doing, and how we are adding value to our communities and to the people around us. It doesn't have to be something big, it can be something small. And part of that is maintaining our health, maintaining our hygiene, maintaining how we dress, just the little things that help, not going around naked like they did with the Gay Pride Parade. I was very surprised. Some very influential people supported that. I mean, I don't think it's right, but apparently if you say that, you get into trouble. People took their children to the Gay Pride Parade to see them marching naked in the streets. So I don't know. To me, it's weird and it's strange. I don't support that. But then I don't go. So I also have that ability to make that decision not to go. I don't want to go and see people walking naked in the street in the name of equality and celebrating love. To me, that's not very loving. So that's the chapter that I did and that I read. And we all have a sphere of influence. We all have the ability to create. People should look at their own families and what their own families are doing. With me, I get a lot of criticism about my mother, people telling me, oh, she was too hard on you, she was like this, she was like that. I don't say anything. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, why don't you judge your own life? I just keep quiet, I don't say anything. The same way when people tell me I created the harassment. If you talk to anybody that knows me, they'll tell you off if you go and tell them that. Because I am not somebody who throws myself at men or flirts with them or goes after men. I am not that way at all. So it's been a really horrible experience to go through that and to have that on my back, or to be called a monkey. If people call you names all the time, you start looking like that. So I don't accept that. I just say, you know what, that's the way you are, that's the way you think. And I carry on with my life. I distance myself from people like that, and I try to build up good relationships and good friendships, and I try to move forward in that way and learn from that, because nobody has been in my shoes. Nobody has had to do what I had to do. And my mother has been very tough on me, and I know that. But at the same time, we didn't have my dad. We didn't come from a two-parent home. We didn't have anybody to guide us, to help us. We didn't have any men in our lives who would come around us and give us guidance on schooling, on education, on taking university courses. We did it on our own. Whatever we decided to do, we did it. And even when we asked for help, that help was not there. When we wanted, my brother wanted to train to be a mechanic, he didn't get those opportunities. They used to send him to do the mail every day. He didn't get to learn much. So, you know, I've done everything I can to change my life, to use my leadership. And if I can do it, other people can do it. You don't have to rely on your aunts or your uncles or anybody else. If you're growing up without your dad or without your mom, today you have the internet. You can find out what's available, what courses you can do. We didn't have that. It was all because we knew through the community, through our high school, what universities were available, what we could do, what we could apply for. And if I didn't qualify for one university, I applied to the others. So I didn't qualify to go to the University of Zimbabwe because I didn't get straight A's. But I got into WITS, which is also an elite university. So there's things you can do. You don't have to give up. People have taken courses through online learning, through UNISA. So if there's a will, there's a way. You can always learn, you can always grow. And many of my colored friends have helped me. They've opened up their homes to me, not only in Zimbabwe, but also in South Africa. I used to go and spend weekends with them. And even this John Maxwell, it came through one of my colored friends who I went to high school with, because we know what it's like to be discriminated against. It didn't come from the Hindu community or the Muslim community. No, none of them helped me to get into university, to study, to say, okay, here's some money that you can use. It came from my own initiative. So if I can do it, other people can do it. And this notion that, oh, you grew up in a single parent home, so you must be like this, or you must be a delinquent, or you must be somebody who can't succeed in life. Look at my degrees, look at my track record, look at how I applied myself, and then come and tell me what I created, and then come and tell me about my mother, and then come and tell me about my father. But if you don't have anything good to say, keep your opinions to yourself, because I don't do to people what people do to me. I stick to my own, and I know that I've got good people around me, and that makes a world of a difference. So if you are interested in John Maxwell, by all means, you can contact me or contact John Maxwell. There's always opportunities to learn, to grow, to develop, and to pray. You can also pray and ask God for His guidance and for His help, and God does help.